Are you making personal sacrifices slash lifestyle changes to slow down climate change?
Especially with dining here, is they give out a lot of plastic stuff. They give out plastic containers that have salads in them, plastic containers that have desserts in them, and especially the fruit that's all pre-cut. And what me and my friend DJ and I do is we rinse out all of our plastic containers and we recycle them or we reuse them. We actually have a stack of cups underneath his bed and a stack of empty containers that we use. Also, like we'll fill it up and take water to class, or we'll possibly use it to store loose items like maybe pencils. Use a pencil cup or two. But
I'm reusing bags. I try to reuse them instead of throwing out plastic, reusing it, and recycling cans.
I've started purchasing my electrical energy from a solar provider. I've investigated putting in windmills in my backyard.
Yes and no. There are some things I'm constrained by, so even if I want to walk to campus, I can't because I'm constrained on where I have to live. But it is harder to buy a small house instead of a large house because that reduces the amount of heating that you need to do, especially for places like Rochester. And that is actually a pretty big impact if you look at it, heating and cooling costs.
And I hate to say that I'm probably do a bit of polluting. I drive a full-size van. It gets 13 miles to the gallon. It probably does a bit of polluting. I don't have to pass emission testing anymore for my inspection. So in that way, I'm probably bad. I burn wood in an outdoor furnace for my winter heat.
Change.
Yes. So, number one, I actually did a little self-experiment one time. Over a number of days, every day, I recorded the number of napkins and paper towels that I used on a day, and I averaged it out. And it's actually it can be a surprising number. You don't know how often you just say like you grab something, do a quick wipe, or do a little bit of this and just toss it. And that adds up over the course of a year, 2 years, 10 years.
Yeah, on an individual level, and every little things here and there. Of course, recycling. Like I mentioned before, if I go out for a run, sometimes I'll even bring a trash bag with me because all the time on my run I see trash everywhere. So sometimes I'll bring a little bag with me and I'll collect the trash up while I'm walking.
What have you done to reduce your carbon footprint?
I think I'm not driving a car anymore. I'm reusing, well, I always did reuse things, but now I'm being more conscious of just throwing things out.
What is the main source of climate change?
yeah, pollution from factories too, especially overseas where they don't have EPA type agencies to help curb emissions like that. Where the EPA here is pretty strict, or they used to be strict on emissions. And
That's a loaded question. There is definitely evidence that states that human beings have contributed to climate change. That if you follow the data, and then there are people who will say, well, climate changes naturally, and it does. So it's hard to say that human beings are the sole contributor.